We're going live for episode 14. You'll have to let us know, those of you that jump in, probably need to make sure audio levels are good, although there's probably no one in right away. But
Let's see who's in there.
Episode 14 ready to go. We've got, as always, a full 7-card lineup, including some pretty big matches later on. A tag team debut. We've got Triple G in action. We've got a couple of newer folks, Dr. Morbius and Paragon, going tonight. Got some good stuff in store in our last show before our end of the line pay-per-view next week.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. I think this pay-per-view feels like it's going to be monumental. Feels like it's gonna be a turning point for a lot of people, and I think it's an exciting time seeing the build up to that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're gonna have the title on the line, teammates.
Yep. Yeah, it's a big deal.
And Domingo Cervantes, who are in action tonight in that tag team match later on.
Mm-hmm. Main event. Yes.
What sort of implications will the fact that they have a title match on the line come into play in that tag match later on?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, so Puma has said that he's gonna approach it straight up. He doesn't want to, it's a respectful thing and all that. He earned the title shot. He wants the title shot, but he's not going to turn on his teammate or anything like that. Now, some have speculated maybe it's mind games or he's trying to throw Cervantes off the scent. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we don't know what sort of impact that kind of stuff may have on their relationship inside and outside of the ring. So who knows how that can be as tag partners tonight.
Will be interesting to see as we get our show ready to be underway. We got Sparkles and Gonzo McLovin going first, kicking off the show. Sparkles got a win not too long ago. Sits at 1-4 though. It's been a bit of a struggle, and McLovin at 1-4 also. So
yeah,
a couple of matching records here. Bottom end of the power rankings, but word has been that McLovin has been hitting the gym a bit more, training a bit more, looking to get himself going in the right direction. And Sparkles is a threat to get a win at any point, even though we haven't seen a ton of them thus far in SWA, as a seasoned veteran with a little bit of NEW action before coming to the SWA. So we'll see what he's got in store for his match tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit wild, a bit unpredictable. I think you never quite know what you're going to get, which I suppose is part of the idea, right? Keeps his opponents on their toes. But you talked about Gonzo McLovin and the change we've seen in him. He hasn't had a ton of success in the SWA. He is doing the hard work of reflecting and figuring out, like, where did I go wrong? What do I need to change? What do I need to work on to improve my status? And I think you can see it even down to the way he dresses. We'll see him here in a minute once Sparkles finishes taking his time to get to the ring. Something as simple as changing what you're wearing. They say dress for the job you want. Maybe he's dressing more like a champion now, and that reflects just his entire shifted approach. I think we might see some big things from Gonzo McLovin in the near future.
Yeah, I've heard him describe it as being somewhat of a weight off of his back, roughly a turtle shell sized weight off of his back.
It's a lot of weight.
Definitely gone with a new look. Feeling the love, got the red and white going, and I think he's a different Gonzo. He's got a different focus. His kind of new debut post his appearance in the Rumble, which he did pretty admirably, was spoiled a bit with Paragon's singles debut, as Paragon got a win in that. But we saw a more competitive McLovin, I think, in that match, and I'm excited to see
I would
what he's got
agree.
in store tonight.
Yeah, I totally would agree with that assessment. More competitive. I think, maybe he's got his edge somehow. It's he's found something to help him with a new angle on these things. I don't know. He seems to put it together in a different way, and I think it's interesting. I think it's exciting.
So we get ready to kick this match off. Of course, we got more information about End of the Line coming up later on tonight. Our pay-per-view again next week, already upon us, much like this match, which is kicking off now.
Interesting size dynamics here. I think on the one hand, Sparkles is one of those guys who I think is deceptively big. He's taller and broader than he looks at first. But I think he's used to using that as an advantage. And then on the other side, you have Gonzo McLovin, who I think often is used to being the bigger guy in the ring. So, though neither of these guys wrestle a sort of slow big man style exactly, I think the size dynamic may come into play here.
Yeah, pretty close. Sparkles coming in technically as a light heavyweight, 236, just under the threshold. Whereas McLovin just on the other side of that. But, a pretty comparable matchup. Sparkles has got a little bit of height. McLovin's got the advantage on the weight side of things. And,
yeah. But also... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Well, just like you were saying, a slight difference in styles. But, it's a pretty fair matchup, by the tail of the tape here.
Yeah, but one thing I was trying to get at, and I think this could be interesting, is I think both of these guys, because they're on the bigger side, I think they're used to being bigger than their opponent. So then, having to switch it around and wrestle someone who's roughly your own size, how does that change your approach in these matches? I think that could be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's oftentimes you kind of wrestle to your opponent. Obviously, you look for an advantage, and if you're, a lot of times size can be that thing that you look at. How can I
exactly
negate a larger size or take advantage of my larger size? And when that's even, you got to find something else to get an edge if you're going to find one in the match. It's a big suplex there from McLovin. Looks like he's
held on to him.
Going for a few here, perhaps. Finally releases Sparkles after a trio of them.
And both guys getting in some good offense here. This one has been pretty back and forth. I think I like McLovin still, but I gotta say, it's and a pedigree.
Right in the center of the ring, too. Ref has taken his time, though, but McLovin's got him where he wants him and puts him away.
Just like that.
And like you said, it was a relatively back and forth match. And then McLovin, as you see here, he got that trio of suplexes in, and that really put Sparkles out. He made one little attempt, and after that, and McLovin just got it locked in, put him away with that pedigree. And you can see there from the video replay, just right where you want the opponent, center of the ring, nowhere to go.
Couldn't reach the ropes. Yep, that was it. And that was a good win. I think we saw there some of what we talked about before the match. This new Gonzo McLovin, this new approach. He's thinking about things differently. He's eating differently. He's working out differently, and pays off for him tonight.
And as we move forward to our next match, we've got Dr. Morbius in his second singles match. Had his first one spoiled by Eric Draven. The Crow takes on Lazar Malvo here tonight. For Morbius, though, interesting bit of information. We mentioned we'd talk about End of the Line. They've got some announcements about that coming forward. Well, last week we announced that our main event at End of the Line is a 4-on-4 tag team, with the teams being captained by Warren Wyndham and El Sangres. And so of the three other members of those teams, Last week we announced the first picks for both teams. Warren Wyndham selected Dr. Morbius, a relatively newcomer to the SWA, but a chance to back up that pick here tonight as we head into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and Morbius will want to impress the former champ Wyndham. He, of course, as you mentioned, has not had a ton of ring time in the SWA. Obviously debuted in the Rumble and looked really good. I think impressed a lot of people. And then last week, maybe not so much, or last time out rather. But here tonight, I think he's looking to, kind of back up that status as first pick. I think he's looking to establish himself, and I think he wants to prove that he belongs in that match.
Yeah, he had one of the best showings in the Rumble. Actually, the best showing for sure of the debuting wrestlers that made entrance at the Rumble, and had a pretty good match with Eric Draven, a version of the Crow that's been on a bit of a run. Picked up a couple of singles wins since his appearance in the Rumble, and so not the worst loss. They had a pretty tightly contested match that Morbius didn't come out on top on, but I guess Wyndham liked what he saw anyway, and made him his first selection for his team at End of the Line.
Meanwhile, on the other side here, Lazar Malveaux. What do you think about Lazar and his sort of middling record as it concerns someone like Dr. Morbius who's looking to prove himself a little bit? Is this a real quality opponent here, or are you padding stats a little bit?
It's tough to say that it's not a quality opponent. We've got a lot of talent in the SWA, so plenty of people who we might expect to be performing better than they are at the bottom or middle of the power rankings. I think for Morbius, what it is it's a match you've almost got to win. You don't want to drop one to Malveaux. No offense to Malveaux here, but if you're looking to climb up the rankings, you've got to take down Malveaux here, and you've got to have a good showing on the way to the pay-per-view. Otherwise, that selection for Wyndham's team is going to be called into question quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. You definitely you shouldn't discount someone like Lazar Malveaux, but yeah, if you're looking to be in the conversation for the champion, you need to win a match like this, because while Malveaux is a skilled technician, he hasn't quite been able to hang with the cream of the crop as of late, and so you need to prove that you're better.
Yeah, 29th in our power rankings currently. That's in the bottom half. If you're a debuting superstar in the SWA, you've got to be able to take down opponents that are in the bottom half of the power rankings. That's just as simple as it is. Now, of course, for Malveaux, he's looking to turn things around. He's not content being where he is in the power ranking. He's not content with his 2-4 record. He's looking to pick up a third victory here, and would love to go through Dr. Morbius to do it.
Yeah, and that would be, a good statement from him as well, because Morbius has a bit of a rising star profile, right? He debuts hot in the Rumble, and then he puts on a good match that he loses closely. He gets picked for Wyndham's team. So stopping that momentum is a real statement for someone like Lazar Malveaux, who, like you said, is looking to kind of right the ship a bit. It's a good opportunity.
Yeah, and an interesting, selections so far in that main event for End of the Line. On the other side of things, El Sangre's picked Eddie Vortex, who also debuted during the Rumble. Had a pretty rough showing, and then dropped a match to Eric Draven as well. Malveaux goes for a cover there. Vortex picked himself up a win in his next match. Looking a lot better against Deuce Bennett. Maybe getting some experience going. Strong DDT there for Malveaux, but Morbius needs to do the same thing here. Get himself going in the right direction with a win heading into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and at least at the moment, it's looking like it's Malveau's match to dictate here. Gotta say, if you're Morbius, you want to get control here, assert yourself a little more.
Yeah, I think if you're El Sangres in the back watching this match, you're pretty happy with how it's playing out so far. Your pick in Vortex picked up a win, and if Morbius struggles with Malveaux, that's just more fuel for that rivalry between Sangres and Wyndham, and how much they dislike each other. You know they're going to be scrutinizing every pick each other makes and hoping for the worst.
It's Morbius thinking here, turning him around in the corner. Oh. Thinking he's going to catch an elbow to the face.
Malvo, like you said, just looking hot so far. Tosses him pretty effortlessly over his head, and then a little bit of a kip up there back to his feet.
Working on that arm.
Malvo certainly looking to play spoiler in a match that, like we said, Morbius really needs to win. Delivers a nice big boot there, though, to take Lazar off his feet.
And a hell of a spine buster to back it up.
Picks Lazar right back up as well. Now going to work on him in the corner with a big clothesline. Malvo with a little short arm clothesline of his own. Taking a moment. Balancing himself there a little bit, maybe.
Maybe he was shouting out one of his favorite wrestlers making an in-ring appearance tonight for the first time in 7 years. Oh, and a Luthez from Dr. Morbius as he really lays it in.
Then a handful of kicks as well. Just looking to stomp a mud hole in Malvo here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, really just beating the crap out of his face.
It's a 1, almost a 2 count. Lazar's out of that easily. Malvo with a great catch there. Now looking for a little single leg Boston Crab action.
Yep.
Morbius trying to crawl to the ropes.
Not getting very far. Okay, and then I guess Malvo released it.
Malvo's sizing up his target. Drives
Running
that
knee
into the head of Morbius as he put him
Deadly.
away. 1, 2, and 3. The doctor is out. Lazar Malvo with a nice win.
And I think we noticed early on that Malvo was controlling this match, and it remained that way for a strong majority of it.
And Morbius not happy about it either.
Man. I mean, I can't say that I approve of his actions here, because they're very dastardly, but I do think I understand his thought process, because it's exactly what we talked about, right? This was the chance to really prove himself in a big way, and now it doesn't look so good.
Yeah, comes up short there, and then takes matters into his own hands after the match. Not the best look for him. Not going to make many friends in the locker room with those sort of antics. Tough going for Dr. Morbius there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he responds. He may really have a chip on his shoulder come the pay-per-view and that big tag match.
Third match of the night coming your way. We got Painwrecker and Corey Quinn in some singles action. Painwrecker, for someone who sits 7th in the power rankings, I'd say is still maybe a little bit under the radar. 5-2 in singles action. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's consistently winning, but manages to do it in a way that just doesn't quite draw as much attention as you would think. And yeah, he's managed to really, like you said, he was 7th in the power rankings, and I was a little surprised because he's flown under my radar somehow too. I don't know.
We did see Painwrecker last time out had a match that was under 40 seconds. A really nice win. He's had some great matches actually, but he doesn't necessarily have the signature win that you might be looking for as you're kind of looking over trying to decide really who's who in the SWA. You need that one win you can kind of lean on to say, like, yeah, I took down this person. I think Painwrecker's still looking for that win.
Interesting. That's a good point, I think, because yeah, he has been, a good athlete, a good wrestler in his time here, and maybe it's time for people to recognize Painwrecker.
He's got a matchup here against Corey Quinn, who, sits almost right in the middle, 17th in the power rankings, 4-5 in singles action. It's been a lot of up, a lot of down for Corey Quinn. Just when you think he's on the rise, he drops a match or two, but he's had a big win at a pay-per-view and a cage match against Yasuke Boseman. He's won some solid matches, and a win here against Painwrecker would go a long way, get him back to 500, but also be a, as we were talking about, a signature win. It's a pretty good win, taking down someone inside the top 10.
Yeah, and someone who, like we talked about, is just consistently putting in that sort of performance. Yeah, so Corey Quinn, who, had a pretty hot start at the beginning of SWA, right? He had a good showing in the tournament, beating his brother, made a bit of a run, and then I think kind of really put his attention toward the tag division. Because, yeah, he's fallen off a bit. Maybe looking to shift that around a bit here tonight against Painwrecker. And starts off real hot with a whiffed leaping lariat.
Yeah, huge miss there for Quinn, who last time out dropped to his brother Jamie in a bit of a rematch from their tournament matchup, bringing them to even in the series. But this, at this late of a juncture, probably a nicer win for Jamie now than the win for Corey was early on.
Yeah, that's probably true. And it sort of continues to reflect how Corey's fortunes have not been super great in recent times. Looking to change that here, obviously, as he goes to work on Painwrecker.
And he is...
Man.
Something is off with Corey Quinn here tonight. Just a huge whiff on the drop kick.
Did people check on him? His depth perception seems to be a little off. I don't know what's going on here.
He was busted open in that match with Jamie, but it was a couple of weeks back, and he's been medically cleared. But maybe something didn't show up in the test there as a 1 count for Painwrecker.
Yeah, I don't know. Either that or maybe he had one too many libations backstage. That drop kick connects, though. Dropping Painwrecker flat on his back. Big leaping knee as well. Drop right into the face of Painwrecker as Quinn actually has found a way to connect a few blows here.
Finally got something going, and then Painwrecker kind of gets back in on the action here, taking back control of this one, or attempting to anyway. Solid punch from Painwrecker, takes down Corey. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, snap backbreaker like that. Does not feel good. But Painwrecker with the float over DDT in response, and feeling momentum build a little bit. The crowd's getting behind Painwrecker here. Maybe they understand what's going on. They appreciate what a consistent worker this guy is. Big overhead, belly to back, suplex, and now what's Painwrecker thinking? Got something in mind here.
Seems to be setting him up.
Big brain buster.
It's got him down, going for the cover after the brain buster. Is that enough? Yes, it is. 1, 2, and 3. A 6th victory for Painwrecker, and dispels of Corey Quinn pretty easily.
Yeah, it was maybe not comfortable. I think he had, he took his licks in the beginning of that match, but he sort of weathered the storm and slowly built his momentum up and climaxed with that fantastic brain buster. And Painwrecker going to be happy with this one. It was a maybe not that signature win, but I think it's a statement of intent and purpose.
Here is your winner, B.
Solid win for Painwrecker. It's his 6th in the SWA.
That's elite company right there. 6 wins.
Just the 7th to do so. Understandable since he's 7th in the power rankings, right around there. He evens up his record with the beast Calvin Abueva, who we will see coming up tonight. Chance to move ahead of him in the power rankings if Abueva drops a match. Painwrecker might be moving up, flirting with the top 5.
That's a big deal. That's like we said, he's somehow gone unnoticed even by me, I'll admit. And now he's threatening to suddenly be a top 5 wrestler in the Fed here. That's impressive work by Painwrecker. I've got to say, people need to stop underestimating him, or he's going to run over everybody.
Next up, we've got Merciless Mason Jones taking on Yasuke Boseman. Bozeman sits at 3-4, and it's been a bit of a downward slide for him. Really, ever since his kind of hot shot showing into Countdown.
Yeah, Countdown was the turning point.
Things have been on the downward trend for him. A rough showing. He dropped a match to Corey Quinn at a pay-per-view after that. And for Mason Jones, he's looking to get himself going. 2-3. Had a bit of a hot start as well, and then kind of has cooled off. Really the story for both of these men sitting in the kind of middle of the power rankings. 18th for Bozeman, 28th for Jones.
Yeah, and I think, Bozeman has definitely had higher highs. He, earned his way into a match for the title, and he looked really good in that match, but just couldn't pull it out. And I think that's haunted him a little bit. He hasn't been able to shake that. Meanwhile, Mason Jones has not quite achieved that level just yet, although I think there's potential in him. But yeah, he came out real strong and was looking like he was going to steamroll the division, but then hasn't really been able to put it together lately. I think his dreams of being the champ, much like his pants, are just like ripping apart at the seams.
Yeah, another one of those that we thought looked poised really to solidify himself as one of the top competitors in the company, and has really fallen off. And chance to get it back at 500 here tonight for both of these competitors would go a long way towards helping him out.
Here comes Yasuke Bozeman. He's one of a handful of guys in the SWA who I think you can really say have like an incredible amount of heart. He's the sort of guy like your Diego Mercers, like your Eric Draven, I guess, to a degree as well, who both happen to be in Deadfire, who can be down and they can be out, but they're never all the way down and out. There's always a way to turn things around, and he believes in himself, which you have to do. It's impressive the degree of confidence this guy has, even in difficult moments.
Yeah, and I think, Bozeman, despite the kind of middling record and rough showing as of late, has been one of the people that you can certainly say is like won over a pretty good portion of the crowd. And,
yes, definitely.
Certainly has his supporters in the SWA faithful.
I think that's people recognize that amount of belief and hope in himself, and they respond to that. And now he faces up against Merciless Mason Jones.
Oh,
stiff kick there.
Solid kick from Bozeman.
Bozeman looking merciless to start this match.
Taking him over to the ropes and using him to kind of slingshot him back in.
Rolls him over and drops the knee. Oh my goodness. Right on his face.
You know, last week we saw a first in SWA history. Domingo Cervantes defended his title against the Beast Calvin Abueva, and then Al Sebastian cashed in the Path to Glory briefcase and took a shot at the champ. Cervantes defended the title twice on one night, defeating Sebastian as well. But, you know, word is, and that I can announce now, Big Al impressed Warren Windham enough. Warren Windham has selected Al Sebastian as his second member of his team for Into the Line.
And that's a huge deal. You know, Al Sebastian has been another sort of fast riser, I think. You know, he sort of suddenly appeared out of nowhere. This cool hip young guy, and we were all like, "Oh, who is this?" And then he ends up with the briefcase, and before you know it, he's challenging for the title. Now he didn't win, and you know it's no embarrassment to say that, because to win you have to beat a really great wrestler in Domingo Cervantes. But as Bozeman goes for an armbar here, and a leg bar.
He's got the leg locked in as well. Could submit Jones here. Jones seems to be fighting his way
get out. Yeah, but what I was saying, you know, so Sebastian had that fast rise, and he surely has impressed enough with, as we see an impaler DDT by Bozeman. This could be the end right here. Oh no, he's going to work the neck. To try to conclude that thought again, I think Al Sebastian has really made an impression in his brief stint.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't come up with a win, but he made a pretty good run at the champ, and you know, Cervantes is taking down Warren Windham. Wyndham's just maybe collecting some people that are have had solid showings against some of the best in the business. So Jones has got the leg locked in, but Bozeman able to kick out.
And that's looking like a strong team for Windham now too, as Bozeman goes for the pin here. But yeah, Wyndham's team, Dr. Morbius and Al Sebastian. I mean, that's a big set of boys, and a blue thunder bomb by Mason Jones. Got Bozeman feeling it. I think he was holding his back there, but what else has he got in mind?
Bozeman trying to get things going the other direction, his way. Oh, but
And a power slam.
it's on the wrong end of a power slam there after being whipped off the ropes. Jones with that big knee, and then a discus clothesline folds Bozeman in half. Jones is going for the cover in the corner. 1, 2, and Bozeman's got the shoulder up.
It's not going to be enough. I told you. Yasuke Bozeman believes in himself to an absurd degree, more than anybody else.
The fighting spirit and resiliency of Bozeman.
And that running knee, I couldn't tell if that connected just now, but
not sure that he got all of it. Oh, Jones, though, still has some momentum on his side.
couple of drop kicks and a little swinging neck breaker there. Oh, and Bozeman.
What a counter by Bozeman, lands on his feet. Oh.
And a cutter, I think, on the end of that. Suplex.
Now Bozeman going for the cover. Jones has got the shoulder out at 2.
Man, what a battle. These two guys really fighting for it all here. Now Bozeman's going to work on some specific body parts, do some limb targeting.
Ooh, catches an elbow in the corner.
And a big Hurricane Rana from Mason Jones, who's doing some karate poses.
Bozeman's going to roll to the outside, try to collect himself a little bit, but Jones chases him right out there. Not giving him any time, but nice counter by Bozeman. And back and forth on the outside as Jones goes back in. Bozeman's going to follow him back in, and after a 3 count, the action is back inside the ring.
And Bozeman again targeting some body parts, working the legs, working the neck and head here.
Looking for a cover there. He's got a 2 count. That was closer than I thought it was going to be.
He wants that rep to count a little faster. He's not happy with the pace of that. Back to work on the head with a chin lock here.
Yeah, and some of these holds have clearly taken a little bit out of Jones. I thought that last pinfall attempt was an afterthought, but really was almost there. Bozeman could be close to putting him away if he can just land, that one big move. But Jones has been the one that's been able to secure those tonight as he goes up to the middle rope. Dumps the head off the top rope there. That's a lot of impact.
Yeah, it's like a spinning DDT, except instead of your face getting planted to the mat, you get hung up on the ropes.
And Bozeman
And
gets the shoulder.
they hurt, let me tell you.
After a 2 count, but he's still laid out. Now rolls to his feet, but Jones back on the offensive, grabs the leg. Nice takedown of Bozeman.
Both these guys here, you can see they're tired, they're feeling it, their muscles ache.
Ooh.
They need a break, they need some water, and we got some blood. How about that?
Another of those Impaler DDTs bust Jones open. Now he's going for the cover, and he's put him away with it. Second Impaler DDT ends the night for Mason Jones, and a surprise victory there for Bozeman, who looked like he was on the outs.
He sure did. Like you said, he hadn't been able to land those big moves, but he was slow, he was methodical, he picked his spots, and it worked for him. And that believing in himself to the degree that he does has paid off yet again.
Yasuke Bozeman gets himself back to 500, 4-4 now. A nice win over Mason Jones, who put up a pretty good showing as well. A well-fought match from both sides.
Yeah, a really, really fun contest. A couple guys pushing each other to be the best version of themselves. And in the end, Bozeman just had a little bit more to give.
Yeah, and I'm getting actually word that, right on the heels of that last match, El Sangres is elected to make his second pick to counter the selection of Al Sebastian that Warren Windham has made. Sangres likes what he saw last match, likes the underdog fighting spirit. He's selecting Yasuke Bozeman as his second team member.
Strong pick. I think, what we've talked about, obviously, with Bozeman and his fighting spirit, makes a lot of sense. It's the kind of guy you want on your team, but also it fits with the style of person that Sangres is interested in working with, right? He's that sort of never give up, don't hit me, I'm small, but I'm still going to beat you kind of guy. And then, Bozeman fits right in with that.
Yeah, and as we get ready for Paragon taking on the Beast, Cavanabueva here, quick recap of those teams so far. Warren Windham, of course, will be participating on his own team. And his selections so far, Dr. Morbius and Al Sebastian. For El Sangres, his 2 teammates so far are Yasuke Bozeman and Eddie Vortex. So the last selections for those 4-on-4 teams will be unannounced up until our pay-per-view. They will become apparent at end of the line. It'll be interesting to see what those 2 do to round out their teams. But right now, we've got I'd call it a heavyweight matchup, but with Paragon in there, it's a super heavyweight matchup. Calvin the Beast Abueva, 6-2. One of the best competitors in the SWA, even though he's fresh off of a title chance loss last week. Taking on Paragon, what a draw for Paragon. At 1-0. He has a shot at the man that sits 6th in the power rankings and had a title shot last week.
Not only that, but even if you look at his actual wins to build up that record, most of them were earned defending his Path to Glory briefcase. before he finally lost it. But that's he had a run there where he was just untouchable.
Yeah, Bueva's loss last week to Cervantes was actually his first singles loss since our inaugural tournament months back. Now, he lost the Path to Glory briefcase in the Rumble at our last pay-per-view. So did not have that opportunity anymore, but his resume was so impressive he earned a title shot anyway. It wasn't the best showing. Domingo Cervantes handled the beast, but we're not that far removed either from Bueva taking down Warren Windham a few weeks back. So he's got the resume. He's had some big wins. He didn't fare that well against the champ, but not many have. And he's going to look to get himself his 7th win here tonight and get himself back on the climb, looking at another shot at Domingo Cervantes in that World Championship. For Paragon, 1-0. He won his debut against Gonzo McLovin. Singles action. He was one of the finalists in the Rumble, partially due to his late entry into the Rumble, but nonetheless, he's been hot to start, and it's hard to think of a better win that he could secure than taking down a Bueva here tonight.
Yeah, I think this would be sort of a statement of purpose, like to say what I said earlier. It would show us that he means business, because Calvin Bueva has shown us what he's about, and he's very good at what he does. So Paragon, although promising, has got his hands full here tonight.
Yeah, and earlier we talked about how Morbius really needed to win against Lazar Malvo. I would be surprised if Paragon comes away with a victory here. He's facing one of the top competitors in the SWA in Bueva.
But at the same time, I think we both know that Paragon's capable if he can put it together. Ooh. So it's just a question of if he can do that.
Ref's back to his feet, kind of inadvertently took a bump there, and what athleticism from the 400-pound Paragon.
Yeah, that's incredible. For someone of his size and weight to be able to do a lucha roll like that is just wild.
Just applying the weight and the pressure to the gut of a Bueva. Calvin, one of the largest superstars in the SWA, but at 400 pounds, Paragon, the heaviest, and it doesn't take, that much to take a look and see that it's not, that it's largely muscle content. This guy's jacked.
Yeah, I think someone told me he has like 1% body fat. It's absurd. But yeah, he's just all muscle. He's basically a giant bag of rocks that can walk around and beat the shit out of you. But a Bueva easily tosses him over his shoulder to remind us that Bueva also a huge and very strong man who has beaten up a lot of his fellow workers here in the SWA.
Yeah, it goes by the beast, and for good reason. He's no slouch here. He's had some great wins in the SWA and has showed his power and strength on numerous occasions.
Paragon again, with that little kicking out there, showing some tremendous athleticism, the sort that you don't really expect to see from a guy of his size, but it's very impressive and I think can be very useful in this sort of match. As he gets dumped to the outside.
Yeah, dumped on the outside. Bueva's just going to wait for him to get back in. Take a moment to catch his breath, but Paragon's going to roll back in after him. And a drop kick, a little athleticism from Bueva as well. He's got a 2 count there.
Off of a drop kick, man, that back body drop to the outside must have been further of a fall than I realized.
On a lot of impact, 400 pounds gets hurtling towards the ground. Can pick up speed in a short fall.
Back to the ropes again, and for the second time, the ref is on the ground.
Ooh, cannonball in the corner from Paragon.
And I woke the ref up, too. Man.
got out of the way in a hurry when that massive frame was going there now. Yeah. Looking for the cover. He's got a 2 count.
This is a good stuff from Paragon here, but if you want to win, now is when you just got to step on the gas. Can't let up.
Taken up Abueva. Power bomb, center of the ring. And now Paragon going for the cover. Ref getting around to the angle he likes, and Abueva's out at 2. Gets the shoulder up.
You know, it's interesting. That power bomb looked an awful lot like the beast bomb that we see from Calvin Abueva. I wonder if he takes exception to that sort of, mind game trickery. Because now you got him all fired up about something, and he's looking to put a hurting on Paragon.
Yeah, I thought that might have been it for the beast, and instead it's riled him up for sure. He's trying to take back control of this match.
Tight chin lock, but got a little jawbreaker action from Paragon to get out of it, and he's back to eating punches.
Takes a hard clothesline there. Abueva looking for the cover here. He's got 1, 2, and 3. Calvin Abueva puts down Paragon.
And the team for Wyndham not looking so hot, That's what, 3 of them who are all coming off losses now?
Paragon showing some respect from Abueva. I guess the good sport there, but Calvin Abueva rolls right along after dropping his title shot. He's picking right back up where he left off. Maybe the only person on his resume that's unbeatable is Cervantes, and maybe he's looking for another shot.
Yeah, it won't be long at this rate. If he's going to give us another run like he had before losing to Cervantes, he'll be right back in the picture before we know it.
So we go to our 6th episode of the night, the Ace episode. How about match? 6th match of the night. The Ace taking on gorgeous Garrison Gray.
Or grieving Garrison Gray, as he's known in some corners.
Yeah, there's certainly been a change of pace for Garrison since his title match opportunity lost against Cervantes. That's been the case for everybody. Cervantes really just rolling through opponents. He's 8-1, most wins in the SWA. Still hasn't lost since his inaugural tournament loss to Warren Wyndham. It looks near unstoppable, but regardless, Triple G still took that loss pretty hard, and what we've seen from him so far is just kind of a path of destruction.
Making his way to the ring.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I still don't really know what to make of it in the wake of that loss. It's a choice. The Ace here, looking to maybe restore a bit of the luster that he had earlier in his SWA career. Someone who started off pretty hot and, was sort of in the conversation in the title picture and has not really been looking quite as good lately. Seems to have kind of lost it a bit and looking to get it back, I think.
Yeah, he's been on a bit of a skid, 4-4. Someone who was in the chamber match at Countdown and since then has, struggled to stay at 500. But we've got the funeral procession, you might call it here, rolling in with Triple G.
Yeah, it's very ominous, you know, the organ and then it's the thunder and lightning. It's a whole thing here. But I'm glad he doesn't take 45 minutes to get to the ring.
It's certainly a change of appearance. He's let the beard go, the turquoise replaced with blacks and grays. He's definitely a changed man since that title loss, and so far that's been bad news for his opponents.
Yeah, he's grieving, he's sad, he's dark, he's emo, whatever it is. He's also got a harder edge in the ring. He's a little more brutal and doesn't waste his time quite as much. I don't know. I think he just gets to kicking some ass.
Yeah, going right to work. Little float over DDT there.
And just staring Ace down, waiting for him to get back up. And a snap suplex, and yet again, just eyeing him like a piece of meat.
Ace trying to get something going here, but Triple G just taking right back the control.
Fireman's carry, what's he looking to do? Oh, gonna drop him on the ropes, and boy does that hurt across your chest. He knocks the wind out of you, and those ropes are much stiffer than you think. Working on some limbs here. The Ace, you know, has a lot of technical skill, but he's going to need to lay in a bit more punishment if he's going to be able to pin grieving Garrison Gray. Meanwhile, a butterfly suplex, releasing him overhead and dropping him to the mat.
Nice counter by the Ace, though. Whirls around, sends Triple G down to the ground, but he's already back to his feet. And looking to do some damage again. Nice backbreaker there.
Yeah, coming out of that half Nelson hold, really getting some torque on it. And here we've got an incredible deadlift gut wrench. My goodness. The strength on display from Gray here is incredible. Ace fighting out of a headlock here. Looking to maybe get a few licks in, but see what he's got in mind. Gray back in control yet again.
And another suplex. It looked like he tried to get a cover out of it, but the Ace right next to the ropes grabs a hold, breaks that one. Nice kick from the Ace and then off the ropes.
Yeah, springboard moonsault, the lion salt you might
Now
want.
the Ace has grabbed a sledgehammer.
What the heck?
Triple G has a win via disqualification, but he took just a direct shot from the sledgehammer there from the Ace.
What? Boy, the Ace is going to have some explaining to do.
I clearly had it out for Triple G, who I'm speechless.
Yeah, he just snapped. He hits a lion salt, and then he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go get a sledgehammer. He wasn't exactly winning the match up to that point, so maybe he figured, oh, I'll show you a match ending. I don't know. Just wrestle the match, put in the work, but I don't know.
The ace gets himself disqualified right in front of the ref, but that was a dangerous impact with the sledgehammer there in the face, maybe shoulder of Triple G. We'll see what sort of ramifications that has, but damn, that looked like a tough blow from the ace and cost himself the match. I guess Triple G technically gets his 8th win, joining Cervantes with 8 singles victories.
That's yeah, I guess that is technically true, and a big achievement there for Triple G to get that many wins.
Interesting predicament after that match. We go into our main event of the night, a tag team debut. Dirty Deeds, the Fed, Daniel Drake Thomas and Tomio Yamaguchi pairing up for the first time in tag action. It's a tornado tag match against Fuerza Mayor, El Puma, and the champ, Domingo Cervantes. Puma and Cervantes will go into end of the line with a title shot for Puma following his victory at the Rumble. Now, we mentioned in the card announcement for this show that there was more announcements to come about that match. Proud to announce now that second in the power rankings at 6-1, Tomio Yamaguchi will also be in that title match at end of the line. It will be a triple threat match between Cervantes, Puma, and Yamaguchi. Tomio finally getting that title shot, and what a chance here for all of that to come to a head before we head to the pay-per-view, as all 3 of those competitors, along with DDT, jumping in this tornado tag match. And the tornado tag stipulation may well have been requested by Domingo Cervantes, who famously in a tag match with his partner El Puma was never tagged in. No danger of that happening tonight in the tornado tag rules.
420 pounds, Daniel Drake Thomas.
Yeah, to go back, this announcement, I gotta say, it's it's exciting news, it's great news, but I think Yamaguchi really earned it. That match he had with Puma, they've been the sort of rivals in the SWA, and Yamaguchi demonstrated that he was just as good, if not better than Puma. He indeed won the match, and so that combined with his high status in the power rankings, like, he's earned this. I hope he capitalizes, and it'll be really interesting to see what that means for this match here tonight. Is he going to be more focused? Is he going to be distracted?
Should be interesting. Does he go after Puma? Does he go after the champ here? Both on the table. We'll see what sort of help DDT is as well in this match. A tag debut for Dirty Deeds. Fuerza Mayor at 1-2 in the tag division. They've struggled a bit in that respect, but part of that is because at 8-1, the current SWA World Champion Domingo Cervantes' priorities, maybe not in the tag division so much. We'll see what he's bringing tonight.
Yeah, they haven't had quite as many chances to compete in the tag division, but as you alluded to previously, the last time out didn't go so well, mainly because Puma didn't actually tag him in, despite he being the reigning champ. It was very strange, but that won't be an issue here tonight, as all 4 men go at it simultaneously.
Yeah, no fear of that here. And not surprisingly, Yamaguchi and Puma go right at each other, while Cervantes looking to go after DDT here.
So what do we think of Dirty Deeds? Obviously, it remains to be seen how they perform as a tag team, but a couple of members of the sub gang here joining forces, skilled executioners of the ankle lock in particular. Both these guys. What do you think of this pairing?
We'll see how they work, in the ring together. The last couple of weeks, we saw DDT get a victory with Yamaguchi at his side, and we saw Yamaguchi get that victory over El Puma, and DDT played a critical role in that victory as well, serving,
That's true.
A perfectly timed distraction once or twice, helping out his teammates. So now that they're officially working together, we'll see, I think they've got good chemistry together. I think their styles are interesting, as DDT's got an armbar locked in on Cervantes there for a moment. We'll see how effective it is. I think they're both capable wrestlers in their own right. I'm not sure what they've got as a tag team, but they've benefited each other so far.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's what you want in a tag partner. If you're your own competitor, you want to find somebody else who's done everything they can to benefit themselves, and works as hard as you and all that. So I think maybe these guys have found good compatriots in one another.
Ooh.
Interested to see.
Yamaguchi whips Puma's head off the ropes, and DDT has another armbar locked in on the champ over there.
Sure does, but Domingo holding out so far. That was it. He tapped.
We've already got a winner, Domingo Cervantes. DDT locks in the armbar and taps out the champ for a tag team victory for Dirty Deeds.
Wow. Big result. And there's more to come from DDT here.
Some post-match attack there. DDT going after Cervantes. Believe Yamaguchi was going after Puma there, and DDT sends him out of the ring. What a debut for Dirty Deeds in the tag division. And we'll see what sort of ramifications that has at the pay-per-view. Once again, Yamaguchi, Puma, and Cervantes will go into the ring with Cervantes' title on the line at end of the line. Triple threat for the title. Yamaguchi finally gets a shot. Puma gets his deserved shot after his Rumble win. And a quick main event here tonight as DDT taps out Domingo Cervantes in this tornado tag match. What a victory for Dirty Deeds.
Hell of a debut. I mean, you can't do much better than getting the champion to tap out to your armbar. I mean, that's a great way to start, and I think they're gonna be bringing the heat here in the tag division.
Yeah, I mean, a good showing from both. We were questioning their teamwork together. It's hard to argue against it at this point. A great showing there, and a post-match attack that I think there's some emotions coming to a head here as we go into the line. It's going to be sorted out. Will Cervantes defend his title? How will Puma being in that match affect things? Will it become more of a 2-on-1 against Yamaguchi, or Puma's got a title shot on the line as well, and it's his teammate, but a title shot's a title shot. And
yeah, I mean, only one man can wear the belt.
Someone's coming out of that match as victor, and you know that Puma wants it, you know that Yamaguchi wants it, and Domingo's not going to be too happy about the showing here tonight in this tag division. He's been near unstoppable in singles action, but that's going to be a triple threat match. We'll see how that affects the champ's defense of the title. We got a lot of good stuff coming up next week on Into the Line. We've got our final announcements for Team Wyndham and Team Songgrace in our main event. We've got a triple threat tag match. We've got Unhinged taking on the Quinns for the tag team titles, and more to come. We will announce that next week. Thanks for coming out and joining us, and a good night tonight. A relatively quick showing as we head out to our pay-per-view next week. We look forward to seeing you then, and thanks for coming out.